Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead. Go ahead and click subscribe below to receive daily market analysis videos and important alerts. On the economic calendar for today, there's only CAD retail sales at 1:30 p.m. In the currencies, the US dollar index tests resistance at 96, while in the comms, gold and silver attempt to restart bullish momentum ahead of schedule. The global indices and equities may have to choose between a bearish weekly candle and a bullish daily candle today, which could impact this quarter's major trends. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Right, currencies first. Looking at the US dollar index here and actually seeing that the US dollar index is struggling with that 96 level, is looking as though it's finding some good resistance there, and there's a good strong chance we'll see it actually take a bit of a knock. So my expectation yesterday, as it had crossed over the 96 levels, was to see it strengthen. It looks as though it's not really going to be able to do that. It looks as though it's going to get a bit of a knock and get pushed down towards 95.80, 95.50, back in towards these moving averages. Same thing again, looking at euro dollar, although it is kind of in the cusp of things and it's still within that range, just looking across at quite a few of the charts, it actually looks as though there's a small possibility within the range even here, excuse me, within the range here, looking as though there's going to be some support, and we might actually see that euro strengthen, and so weaker US dollar. It's still sitting on that level and it has that ability to go either way, but for the moment, actually looking as though it's going to weaken throughout today. In the meantime, and regardless of that, cable has continued to strengthen, so that pullback we were waiting for, a nice little bullish candle, we've broken to the upside there, and so that should actually be supported then by that. And then fantastically, or just very suddenly as well, we've got that reaction against that resistance level, waiting for that. Market now kicked off and heading into profit on that, so finding some strong resistance at that previous level of support, so that's looking pretty nice. And then a new one on my list, Aussie Swissy, is just noting that there's a significant support resistance level. Here we go, there we got support there, resistance there, support over here, and again a bullish candle finding some support here. So there may well be an opportunity for me to do a swing to go long off this level of support here, and looking for price to take off a little bit higher. So for the moment, most of the currencies behaving pretty much as expected. Onto the commodities on the move, and gold now looking bullish already. It's really been going sideways pretty much for the last 2-3 weeks, and just created a swing high. It's a bit too soon for me. Generally speaking, I'd like for it to, I really would prefer for this to retrace back towards 1260 and 1250 to find some support in this area as a natural, healthy retracement. Looking at silver, silver's a little bit better, a little bit closer to a 382 retracement, and also producing a bullish weekly candle. This looks a little bit healthy. Again, would have preferred this to come down to 1500, but it at least looks a little bit more normal in terms of that. So I'll see if it finishes as a bullish candle. It may simply just be that bullish and wanting to continue. Palladium is behaving pretty cool. It's pretty much as expected. It's now back in that buy zone. This is a very nice area for it to produce a bullish candle. So I'm anticipating a swing low here as price takes another attempt to move up to the highs. I'll be careful about resistance at 1360 and looking to take some part profits on the way there. And then on my list as well, crude oil now finding some good strong resistance at that 80 level, and starting to head a little bit low. If we break this low, we'll have broken this uptrend. This now starting to not look as though it's going to be able to head much higher, finding some good strong resistance there. And new on my list today is UK crude oil. So UK crude oil actually a little bit different, having broken through some resistance here in the past, is now producing a nice little bullish candle on support, and may be an actual swing trading opportunity to go long between today and tomorrow. So we'll have added that to my watch list. Onto the global indices, starting off with Wall Street. And so actually this level of support now becoming pretty clear, almost giving me precisely what I want, which doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but it's really nice here to see that we've currently got price closing above that level of support and currently a bullish candle printing. So what I'm going to be looking for today is a break of yesterday's high, or alternatively a small bullish candle today, setting up for a swing low and the next leg up, ideally to finish bullishly this week. Our weekly candles not necessarily looking as bullish as they were. The monthly candles look fine, weekly candles don't look that bullish, and so this is significant. If you take a look at say the S&P 500, you can see it's back up on the weekly, producing a bit of a bearish candle there. If it closes below support, then that starts to support the idea of more of a medium move to the downside, whereas the daily could ultimately turn around today and then start to head up, and then we finish stronger US Tech 100 on the daily as well, producing almost exactly the same thing. Nice little reaction against the previous highs off that level of support. Nice little bullish candle currently printing. Then as we head away from the US and have a look at the UK 100, this now doing almost the opposite, producing a strong bearish candle here in the downtrend, back in that sell zone against a level of resistance almost precisely there. And so I'm just concerned about a swing high here where this might ultimately end starting to go low. This is the weekly chart as well. So any kind of a swing high here would indicate that the medium to longer term is going to look more bearish. Moving on to the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, and look at this, where it had managed to produce a fresh high on the chart. It's still currently printing a bit of a bearish candle here, so clearly finding some good strong resistance there. If we do finish higher on that, that is going to be a relatively positive outtake, and based off this bullish momentum and divergence, as well as the strong bullish candle here, this market is much keener on going higher than it is on going lower. So let's see if it is actually able to do that. And then finishing off with the Australia 200, the ASX, sitting on a level of support, and just showing you the monthly candle here to give you some context as we leave the US and head east. This is still relatively happy, and it makes sense within historical support resistance levels and the swing low here. This is going to prefer to want to stay where it is here, and so I'm still leaning towards a more bullish outcome, but very interested to see what happens throughout the rest of today and tomorrow. And by the end of this week, we get those bullish finishes, and we're likely to see a more bullish February and March. And then finally for today, looking at the equities in focus. And what I've done is actually with Apple, I've actually switched it to a monthly chart because there's no real opportunities on the lower time frames for now. And what I'm looking, and I'm going to keep an eye on here, is that level of resistance and support. I'm looking to see if we ultimately do produce a small bullish candle here, which could potentially be a swing low and a nice little tight longer term entry opportunity for me in terms of that, but looking for price to head up at the moment. Managing to stay above that level but I would still and will still prefer to see a bullish candle, a bullish monthly candle there. And then comparing this to Amazon, so I've been watching Amazon on the daily, and it's really not looking that strong now. So yesterday we had a bit of a down day. I'm just noticing the sort of shallower high and a deeper retracement. This one is showing, unless we get a very strong recovery, this is showing actually a lot more weakness than strength. So I'll be surprised. I'm expecting this to head a little bit lower. So it'll have to have quite a strong bounce and recovery. Otherwise, this is going to produce a bearish weekly candle and look a lot weaker than, it's certainly looking more bearish than bullish. Then on to Netflix, and what I've done here is this is it on a weekly time frame. Really just wanting to show you that we are currently in a weekly downtrend. We've got nice lower highs. We've also got a strong bearish rejection candle there, at least, even though it's green. Strong rejection there. We've also got a swing high. So all of this in isolation indicating an intention to continue heading lower. And really when we look at the daily, how this may change between now and the weekend is that price is retracing. It's back in on that sell zone on the daily. And it's now back in between the 10 and 20 moving averages. It's been performing relatively well, and again, this could end up being a strong recovery. There could be a swing low here and finishing higher by Friday, which would then change that weekly candle completely. So this is something I'll be looking for here on the daily, and just showing how that will interact between that strong potential uptrend and that weaker potential weekly candle and structure. And then last time I listed really today is just looking at BP. So the charts have not changed a lot since yesterday, and there aren't any real intraday opportunities here. But looking at BP, just highlighting here this level of support and how bullish this candle was looking, it's also showing some signs of weakness. So basically, if the market's sitting at their fork in the road, which I hope you could see, if we ultimately do end with a weak candle this week at the end of the week and then ultimately play out to the downside, you'll see how that will reject that level and fall below it. But a few of these charts still looking so bullish on their monthly candles. So again, there's still very much a presence of bulls in the markets, and it doesn't look as though they're necessarily going to go away without a fight. That being said, ladies and gents, I want to wish you a wonderful day. Be careful out there. And I hear that it is snowing in parts of the country. I saw a bit of snow myself last night, and that's really it. I was going to say to you, be careful out there, and I will chat to you in tomorrow's video. If it's trending, I'll be there. Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.